Hi everyone, I'm Nicolas Rosado, a passionate software engineer, and today I'm really excited to start the second episode of Craftcode podcast about tech trends and demystification of IT principles. Today we'll talk about psychological safety. What is psychological safety? Why psychological safety is so important in your team or in your team mindset? And we will see which tool or techniques can foster psychological safety in your team, like Packmind X Promise. And for this, today we are with Arthur Magne. Hi, Arthur.
Hi, Nicolas. Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah, thanks to be with us. Maybe you can start by the beginning. Just could you tell us who you are?
Yeah, so thank you again for the invitation. I'm Arthur Magne. I'm CPO and co-founder of Packmind. We created Packmind a long time ago in 2016. So we worked a lot about technical depth management, code quality in teams, and how to share coding standard and knowledge across different teams. So we spoke a lot with a lot of technical leaders, with a lot of developers, etc. So we had a big overview of how the team today are working together to grow.
Okay, thank you so much for the description of Packmind. And we will start the podcast by a definition of what is a psychological safety. So I think I will share my screen just to the definition. Yeah. Yes. For the definition, I will take the definition according to Wikipedia. I think it will be enough to just understand the principle or the concept. So psychological safety is the belief that one will not be punished or humiliated for speaking up with ideas, question, concern, or mistakes. In teams, it refers to team members believing that they can take risk without being shamed by other team members. In psychologically safe teams, team members feel accepted and respected, contributing to a better experience in the workplace. So this is basically a definition of psychological safety. Now we will see why it's so important to have psychological safety in your team. And I will stop sharing my screen. I think I will share it again after to see other concept. Yeah. So I think the first thing we need to know to understand why it's important to have psychological safety in your team, it's to understand what kind of management we need to have in the team. And for this, we will talk about the manager. It can be a technical leader. I know that in Promise, you have a specific role for this kind of person. So we need to understand what is not psychological safety. And for this, we need to, each manager or technical lead in technical teams have to choose between command and control strategy or trust-based management. And for example, in command and control strategy, it's to understand it's when we have a manager behind you constantly asking when we have finished your task, or is it done? And this kind of behavior, it comes with an environment, a toxic environment. So in the command and control strategy, it's really difficult for your team to take initiative because the risk is not reward, as we have seen in the definition. And I take an example in the software industry, when a customer find a bug in production, for example, we will looking for who is guilty. So this kind of behavior not foster initiative in your team, and we have untrust environment for people in your team. It's not foster people not help each other in this kind of environment. So we can call this the culture of fear. So it's what I want to tell to our podcast listener. And in the opposite way, in a trust-based management strategy, we have some manager or technical lead that foster a culture of mistake or failure. I like to take the fault tolerance pattern in the software industry. It's a pattern that in our system we integrate that failure is part of the system, so we can anticipate the failure in our system. It's the same principle that in trust-based management we have in the team. Failure is part of your team, and we need to have a culture of mistake, a culture of failure. But we need to have also a culture of feedback, because the goal is to learn from failure, not constantly have the same failure again and again. And the culture of mistake or failure come with a culture of feedback, because we need to not reproduce twice the same error, for example. So the first part of why it's so important to have psychological safety in your team is to choose between command and control and trust-based management. With this, in a trust-based management strategy, we'll have a team that trusts to each other. And if I take again the example of in software industry, when we have a bug in production from a client, find by a client, sorry, the entire team is collectively accountable or responsible, and we doesn't care about who is the guys that develop this code or this bug, because we are collectively responsible of this, and the goal is to fix collectively and find a solution in the feedback loop to try to improve the entire team and learn from this failure. So we can oppose the culture of fear and the culture of mistake, culture of failure with additionally the culture of feedback. So we need to have the culture of mistake or failure with the culture of feedback. And before see with you, Arthur, the techniques or tools that foster psychological safety in your team, I just share again my screen. Yeah. So the last definition, it's be part of a study by Amy Edmondson, come from the Harvard Business School, and I like this diagram to see the 4 stages of psychological safety, because we have several steps in psychological safety. Sorry. So the stage 1 is inclusion safety. It's a feeling that we are included and part of the team. Stage 2 is learner safety. We are safe to learn and ask questions in the team. It is not possible in a team with a culture of fear, in a command and control strategy. And the stage 3, it's contributor safety. Donc we are safe to contribute and share ideas. And in stage 4, we are challenger safety. We are safe to contribute and challenge the status quo. And I think we'll see after, but Packmind, X-Promise, will foster this all this stage by initiating your team the stage 1, and we will see after how we can reach the stage 4. It's the ultimate goal that each team member can contribute and challenge the status quo. So we'll see with the workshop in in Packmind, sorry, and etc. So just before, so Arthur, maybe you can talk about several techniques to share ideas and improve psychological safety in your team. We can talk about pair programming, mob programming, and after, if you can call about Packmind.
Yes. In fact, that's really interesting what you said about command and control. It's kind of the old way of handling projects where you just look at the results of what a team provide. Like you plug a sonar cube, for example, and you look at the defect, you look at the test coverage, etc., and you look if there are some bugs or not, and you just hit the team if there is some bugs, and you don't improve the team this way. Like you said, it's just a way to get rid of people, and people will leave your company if you control like this. And now and for a long time in some companies, we view a lot of different changes in the culture. Like you said, it's the culture of the trust-based management. And we see a lot of this in the idea coming from the lean software movement. So, for example, with the lean, you ask the whole team to improve themselves. So it's a lot about learning in the team. And you have a specific technique, which is called Dantotsu. We wrote an article about that. I will share it.
Yes, and it's not specific to the software industry. Yeah.
No, at start, it's coming from Toyota and the automotive industry. And then we saw in some companies that it was working really well. And some companies are trying right now to implement it in the software management. And for example, Dantotsu, it's really, really great because when you have a defect, when you have an issue in your software, every bug, every defect should be handled, and you need to have a perfect overview of why this bug came in the first place. Is it a learning issue? Is it a problem with the manager? Is it a problem with someone who didn't have enough time, for example, to complete a task? There is a lot of different things that could lead to a bug. And if you don't look specifically in each bug why this bug is coming, you can't improve the team. So the idea of Dantotsu is really to don't blame anyone. So there is a bug coming. It's not your fault. It's the fault of the whole team and the whole system. So it's not the fault of someone. If someone made a mistake, it's because the whole system made him made a mistake.
And how we can improve this system,
it's an idea about the whole system. It's not individual contributors that we just push some code. It's a whole system. And in this context, you identify exactly why someone made a mistake. You understand why he came to this bug, and that's something that we implemented in Packmind. But before starting to speak about Packmind, there is a lot of things you can do in the team to improve this psychological safety. One is working with more than one developer on the same task. It's called pair programming if you are two. It's called mob programming if you do that with the whole team. And it's really something pretty simple to start with. You just pick a task, for example, a complex task, and someone share its screen with his computer. I said share his screen because we work in remote, but if you are on the same site, it's easier. You just work on the same computer.
It's in the same room.
Yeah, and the idea of the pair programming is to have someone writing something directly, writing some code in his computer, and some other people, one or many developers behind, that will tell him what to do, and they will say, okay, maybe you need to use the design system for this part. Maybe you need to add some end-to-end test. You don't know how to add some end-to-end test with Playwright, for example. I will show you how to do it, etc. So it's really great to have this kind of communication.
And it's I need to add that it is not only for new beginners. For new joiners, it's good to have to share collective knowledge about the code base, but it can be between two other developers, senior or advanced developer, and it's really useful to be more efficient in a task.
Yeah, exactly. That's really a way for an advanced team to work faster and to improve the quality of what they will just deliver.
And to share the collective knowledge between all the team.
Yeah, exactly. That's one way of doing this. But the issue that we view with only the pair or more programming, that you don't capitalize well on what you just identify. For example, if you view a bug because maybe you are making too many HTTP requests in the same call, if you don't write it down somewhere, if you don't capitalize on that, you are pretty sure that in a few weeks, in a few months, or maybe in 1 year, someone will make the same mistake, and you will have another bug popping in production or in quality check, for example. So the idea is really to be able to capitalize on everything. That mainly what Dantotsu is about the bug, but you can do that about the design system, about anything related to the code. And when you start doing that, you can still have some issues if, for example, in some companies, we only see managers or technical leaders writing down something. So the whole developers are just following some rules guided by some technical leaders. So that's not really something that will help for the team to have some psychological safety. So with Packmind, what we created is at first something we called a practice review session. The idea is just that everyone within the team, the junior developer and the technical leader, can identify manually some good or bad practices within the code. It could be related to a bug. It could be something new. For example, a new version of React. You have a new method that you can use to make some improvement in the code. Someone is using that. You can identify a practice to say, okay, now this is the right way of doing that because it's better in terms of performance or accessibility, etc. So everyone can identify practices this way. And then those practices can be discussed with the whole team. So we have some teams where only the technical leaders will validate those practices, and it's still pretty good because everyone can still contribute, but only the main architect or technical leader can validate those rules. That's the majority of the case, in fact. But we have some teams where you want to improve this psychological safety, and you invite everyone within this.
I think the role of the technical lead is to inject some basic rules to start with Packmind, but maybe it's a phase 1 that we have seen before. But after, when the psychological safety pass to phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, I think the whole team will be able to contribute and ask questions in phase 2, and after in phase 4 have enough trust in yourself to share and ask to other guys in the team. I think these rules can be a new norm for our teams, and it's what I like in Promise on Packmind. Promise is the X name. The entire team can suggest to the whole team rules, and the main benefits is that we can ask to your colleague directly, but with the workshop in Promise, the whole team will view the new rules or the update of a rule, because it's a dynamic context. In a team, each team have his roles, and the rules that is adopted by a team, maybe a new team will not be agree with the old one. So I like the dialogue thanks to the workshop Packmind, because we can challenge all the entire existing rules decided by the team.
Yeah, in fact, you need to have this kind of centralized catalog of best coding practices for your team or engineering practices, and everyone should be able to contribute.
Yeah.
Maybe not everyone can validate those practices. That's not a big deal, but everyone needs to be able to contribute. And it should be something easy to find. With Packmind, the idea is that when you validate a rule, this rule will be automatically detected with some AI agent in the IDE, in the CI/CD, etc. So the idea is that once a rule is validated, it's pushed to the whole team in their IDE if they don't follow these rules that have been accepted. And from your IDE, you can list every practices that you have, etc. So the idea is that every technical decision are saved by this way. And something that we identified in the last years is that it's pretty hard to change the culture of a team or of a company. So it could be hard for developers to push and to try to push practices to the whole team.
Yes, but I think it's a challenge of promise, because when we have seen before, we can use promise like any other tools. It's just a tools to foster the communication inside the team. But we can use promise in command and control mode or in trust-based management mode. So the goal of promise is to grow the whole team in the phase 4 to ensure that each people in the team can be able to contribute and challenge the status quo of one rule.
Yeah, and one thing which is really great with the AI, there is a lot of things which are not great with AI, but this is great. We use now Packmind with AI to generate practices directly from pull request comment. So the idea is that without wanting to push something to the whole team, some developer may just add a command to someone by saying you should not use this API, for example, or you should add a try catch in this case, etc. And then Packmind will review every comments in a GitLab, GitHub, etc. And it will generate automatically a practice based on this comment. It will see if this comment has been repeated many times, etc. So it will improve the priority of this comment. And it will generate practices. The whole team can validate those practices or technical leader. But then what is great is that without wanting to push something to the whole team, just someone asking someone a question in a pull request, for example, can generate a rule. And this rule may be in the IDE of everyone within a company of 100 developers in 1 or 2 weeks after, for example.
Yeah, so, it generates suggestion from the activity of the team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That we take some technical decision, in this case, in the comment of the merge request. We want to do that also from Slack or Microsoft Teams, for example, where these technical decisions are taken. So it's sometimes in Slack, it's sometimes in a merge request comment, sometimes it's during a workshop in a pair programming or something like this. So there is a lot of spaces where you take some technical decision. The difficulty is really to try to capture and capitalize catch those technical decisions. And then we have the process to generate a program to detect it and to spread it to the whole team. So that is working, but we need the first step, which is how we get some practice from the team.
Yes, because Packmind, the AI new features, it's really useful because one problem of Packmind before is that we need to generate the phase 1 to be able to ask question or to contribute. We need to have some some data, and the IA feature will facilitate the. It's like when you generate the boilerplate, here we generate some new rules, and after it facilitates the way to decide if we take the decision or not. So it's really useful to add this AI feature in Packmind. But it's just a tool, and I think this AI feature and other feature in Packmind is a way to facilitate the communication inside the team.
Yeah. That's really. In fact, it helps the team to have a common goal. So you have a goal which is not only to generate some code and to push feature to someone. That's great, but that's not only the only thing that you can do within the team. You can help the whole team improve their skills. You can push practice about green IT, about accessibility, etc. And it's really important. It's related to the software craftsmanship also, but yeah, it's really important to try to make something good, to make something the right way. If you're just here in the team to push some code and to develop some feature, you can be replaced maybe in a few months or few years by some AI tools. We also speak about that, but we speak about that all the time. But it's not real at all right now. But if you are just here to push some basic code and make something work, yeah, it could be real. But if you are here to be critical about the code, to push some good engineering practices, to learn about architecture, etc., then you're safe. You're safe for at least 5 to 10 years. You have a place in the role.
Yes, I share a post this morning in LinkedIn that we have seen that the AA is able to do some simple task, but at $1,000 cost. So for the timing, all the developers are safe. But I think in Packmind, what is really good is that at the heart of Packmind, we have a human. So the role of Packmind is to improve or foster interaction and communication between all humans in the team. So it's why Packmind, I think, can foster psychological safety, because he can improve the communication. But maybe we have talk about pair programming, Packmind, and if you can talk briefly to mob programming also.
Yeah, the idea of I think mob programming is really great and could be better than pair programming. We saw some teams working on mob programming only for more than 1 year. So yeah,
Okay.
it's pretty rare, but yeah. The idea of mob programming, in short, is really to have only one computer, only one developer behind his IDE, and the whole team behind. What is great is that you can have multiple specialty in the team. So you can have someone which is really great about testing, someone really great about React, for example, etc. So it's really good to have the whole team working together on the same task and on the same goal, which is create a great product and deliver some great product without bug, etc. So this whole idea can be achieved by 1 or 2 or 5 developers, but when you work together, you have some better results that when you work with 1 people behind its computer for 5 people in the team, for example.
Yeah, and in mob programming, the benefit also is to reduce the lead time, because we are not pull requests are not mandatory in mob programming, because the entire team see in real time what we have done during the session. So
yeah, exactly. In fact, you have less bug because you are many brains on working on the same task. So if someone missed something, there is 4 other people that can identify that you missed to add also this kind of class, etc., who make this test. So that's really great. And what is great about psychological safety is that you work together, so you learn to know each other. In one team in Cdiscount, we had a return over experience of one team working only in mod programming for 1 year. And what was great is that in this company, there was a lot of turnover across the different teams, obviously. And in this team, no one left the company during the whole period of mod programming, because they were really happy to go work together every day. They work only together, so they trusted each other, etc. It was really great for psychological.
Yes, it's an immediate feedback, and I think it's really good for new joiners and other joiners to share the collective knowledge in mob programming.
Yeah, exactly. But still, when you are doing only mob programming, for example, which is pretty rare, you still need to have some capitalization. Now you need to have somewhere a document or practices in Packmind or some architecture decision record, etc.
Yeah.
Somewhere when you just can plug everything that you learned and the way you want the code to be produced. And why also it's important today, I think more than 2 or 3 years earlier, is that right now a lot of companies are using AI, and in a few years, I think everyone will be using AI. And if you are working in mob programming and you don't capitalize on every learning that you have, the AI won't be able to know how to generate some code. What are your best coding practices, etc. If you are working on code legacy, for example, the AI will just amplify what it sees. So if you have some bad code, it will just generate bad code. And it's really important to have this structure right now where you can be sure to capitalize on everything, like in the Dantotsu method, for example, to also work with AI, because now AI is kind of part of the team. It's another developer within the team. It's used as a copilot.
It's a tool.
It's a tool, but we will have people that will just validate everything the AI will provide. I think it will be really hard it will be even impossible to change the culture of everyone. So we will still have people that will just validate what AI produced. And it could be great if the code produced by the AI follows the standard of the team.
Yeah.
And for that, you really need to have this kind of process to generate your standard. And it's great to have this, to work on this together, to be sure that everyone can contribute. Otherwise, it's like you said, it's kind of command and control management.
Yes, and I will finish by this. But what I love in this kind of techniques or tools and in trust-based management, it's like you said, we not have a turnover in the team that implement mob programming. Is that each people integrate in this kind of process need to have some kindness. We need to have some humility and for the sharing, and this kind of environment will attract more people with kindness, and you will avoid toxic people or toxic environment in this way. So it's what I love in the psychological safety. So
for HR, effectively, if you push a job description in LinkedIn and you say, okay, you will be doing mob programming, pair programming, you will work on the standard of the team, you are pretty sure that you will attract a lot of really good developers in the company.
Yeah, so for all HR, just try to implement in the team this kind of psychological safety. So thank you so much, Arthur.
Thank you.
Like I am in a continuous improvement approach. So if you have some suggestion of a question, don't hesitate to leave your feedback in our LinkedIn page or YouTube channel. Don't hesitate to join our LinkedIn page or YouTube channel also. So thank you so much, Arthur, and I can't wait to see you in the next episode for our podcast listener. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Nicolas.
Bye.